We don't know about you, but one of our favorite things to do on vacation is to visit the grocery store. Does that sound strange? Maybe, but it's a great way to try local foods and drinks and to save some money if you don't want to eat out in restaurants for every meal. Today we're giving you a mini crash course on the popular grocery stores in Switzerland, local food and drinks to try, and what you can expect to spend on a typical picnic food or takeout meal. If we haven't met, we're Jana and Brett, Aplins in the Alps, and we help you travel Switzerland with confidence. And that includes today's topic of Swiss grocery stores.
So let's jump right in with our biggest piece of advice. If you're trying not to break the bank, then we recommend eating breakfast at your lodging, then eating out for one of your meals each day and grabbing the other meal from the grocery store. No, you don't have to cook while you're on vacation because there are some great takeaway options and convenient picnic foods at the Swiss grocery stores, which we'll show you more later.
Let's chat about the two most popular stores, Coop and Migros. Now, you'll usually see some kind of small grocery store in the train station with a lot of on-the-go convenient food and drinks. But usually you'll find a Coop and Migros just a few blocks away from the station or in the touristy centers of town, and these are much bigger stores. And before we go even farther, I know what you're already gonna comment. It is pronounced Coop and Migros. That's just how the locals say it. Although on our first trip here, we definitely said Co-op and Migros.
Other grocery stores in Switzerland include Vogue, Lidl, Aldi, Dinner, and Spar, and all of those tend to be cheaper than Coop or Migros. So if you're on a budget and happen to see one of those stores nearby, they're worth popping into. Also, many but not all of the grocery stores are closed on Sundays. However, the ones inside the train station should be open on Sundays, so no worries if you're traveling on a weekend.
Okay, as a tourist, you're likely going into the grocery store when you're hungry, and good thing that the takeaway food is usually right in the front. Of course, they have sandwiches and salads, but also pasta, lentils, couscous, veggies, fruits, and more. And sometimes there's even a hot food area with things like pizza, chicken, and cheese pies. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna grab some items from Migros and show you the price. Brett's gonna grab the same items from Coop and also show you the price so you can compare similar items at both stores. By the way, we're gonna grab the cheapest items available, which are still a good quality, but just know that if you want even better quality, there are pretty much always more expensive options available. When we need something quick on the go, we usually grab a salami or ham sandwich, a berry smoothie, and a bag of chips. Sometimes in the summer, we want something more refreshing, so we grab a chicken salad, a fresh fruit cup, and a vitamin water. Don't forget that sometimes you have to pay extra for salad dressing. And if we're riding a train or going somewhere we can sit down to eat, we grab the couscous salad, lentil salad, and potato salad to share. By the way, you often have to buy your silverware, but it's just about 10 cents. We either recommend bringing like camping silverware with you or just buying this once, washing it, reusing it, and keeping it in your backpack like we do. You also have to buy grocery bags. They're also just 5 or 10 cents a piece, so you can buy them once and then keep reusing it, or do what we do and just put stuff straight into your backpack. Now it's time for a little grocery store tour. I'm still in Migros because this is the store I actually prefer to shop in, and Brett's still gonna show you comparable items and prices from Coop. First up is the produce section, but usually when we're traveling, we just buy the conveniently pre-cut and pre-washed produce from the to-go section. However, if you are shopping for fresh produce, this is super important. You have to weigh the produce by yourself before checkout. I know in the US they weigh it for you when they're scanning your items, but here you have to weigh it yourself before you go to the checkout. First, pick a product. You can put it in a bag if you have multiple items. Then find the number on the label. Walk to the scale, place the items on top, and then type in that number. The machine will print out a sticker which you put on your item or bag, and this is what will be scanned during checkout. Next up is bread. We personally love that there's such a huge selection of fresh bread to choose from, and honestly, it is all delicious. But we personally love the buttered Zopf, which is super Swiss, and the Alpine bread is really good too. We're not gluten-free, but there is usually a gluten-free bread section as well. Next is the breakfast area. Of course, they have cereal and oatmeal and granola, but if you're looking for something traditionally Swiss, drop some Birke muesli into your basket. Next is the dairy section, and as you can imagine, Swiss grocery stores have aisles upon aisles upon aisles of cheese and yogurt and milk and eggs. It has been so fun for us to try a different kind of cheese every single week, and so far our favorites are all of the aged Bergkäse, which means mountain cheese. But Emmental, Gruyere, and Tilsiter are also really popular options. And if your Airbnb happens to have a fondue or raclette machine, you can buy that kind of cheese here too for way less than you'd pay in a restaurant. By the way, before we go any further, I wanted to mention that sometimes you'll see the word action on products or a sign like this. That just means they're either discounted on sale or bundled together so you get an even better deal. As for yogurt, they have the normal stuff as well as some really unique flavors like my personal favorite, elderberry flour. And this might honestly be the creamiest yogurt you have ever tasted in your entire life. It is so good. Most of these single serves cost around 1 franc depending on the brand. Next is eggs, and you might be surprised to see that they are not refrigerated. That's because they are not sterilized and you do need to wash them before you use them. But the prices of eggs can vary dramatically. The cheapest ones are usually imported, but if you opt for Swiss eggs or even organic eggs, the price is a lot more expensive. However, as you can imagine, the quality and the egg yolk color is so much better. Like eggs, some of the milk isn't refrigerated either. That's just because it's somehow processed differently, but don't worry, it still tastes like normal milk. You can usually pick between a carton and a bottle, and we just prefer the bottle because it's easier to pour, and naturally they have lots of milk alternatives as well. And if you haven't noticed, this little ladybug means that the product is Swiss, and the Swiss are very loyal to their farmers, so you will see a lot of ladybugs throughout the store. By the way, if you see the word bio on a product, it means it's organic. Next is the meat department, and I am super curious to read all of your comments about this because meat is consistently the most expensive item on our grocery list every week. But as a tourist, you're likely not going to be buying meat on your vacation unless maybe you're grilling out. Don't skip the cervelet, which are like the most popular Swiss sausages for grilling. We also like to buy the Landjager dried sausages for hiking. But if you're looking to make something with chicken breast or ground beef or pork chops, you'll probably be surprised by these high prices. Like most grocery stores, they have canned foods, ethnic foods, and frozen foods, but we're sticking with what you're most interested in as a tourist, so let's head to the snack aisle. If you're curious to try some typical Swiss snacks, don't skip the Zweifel potato chips, Ovalmaltine, which is like a crunchy Nutella spread, and granola bars. We pretty much have all 3 of these in our pantry most of the time. And usually the chocolate aisle is near the snack aisle. As you can imagine, there are endless choices and types and brands, but we particularly like Ragusa, Torino, and Lindt. By the way, our friends and family think Swiss chocolate is a great gift, so we always stock up on a bunch of bars before we go home to visit. And it is always cheaper to buy here from the grocery store compared to a tourist shop, especially if you can find something on action or on sale. Next, notice that Migros does not sell alcohol. These are all alcohol-free versions, but most other stores do. Brett likes Appenzeller, Rugenbrau, and Eichhoff beers, but you'll often find more regional and local options depending on where you visit. And some of the best Swiss wines are whites and rosés from the Lavaux or Valais regions of Switzerland. Rivella is the most popular Swiss soda you should try, and I won't tell you what it's made out of. And syrups are great too. They're basically a juice concentrate that you dilute with bubbly water. And speaking of water, do not buy regular water from the grocery store because it's basically just as good straight out of the tap. You can also pick up some basics like shampoo and toothpaste, laundry detergent, cleaning supplies, diapers, and formula here too. But when the grocery store just won't cut it, watch this next to see some of our favorite foodie spots across the country, or check out our Swiss itineraries, which are chock full of our top restaurant recommendations. And we'll see you in Switzerland.